It's Friday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me.
Mariah in the building.
How you guys doing? I miss you.
We miss you too.
Yes, so I had to wear it. You know, T-Smarts just delivered this one. Oh, wow, look how pretty I look.
Yes, you do look pretty. You look pretty.
How you doing, Lima? Akasha Zibi. Eko, Edidi Ojo.
We were colleagues.
Yes, so
and we made it happen. We enjoyed ourselves.
Right.
I've not stayed out that long in a very long time. I used to be scared of
so.
events I'll get to evening, but I enjoyed
it. Was that just 30 minutes at the end of the 3 hours?
I was actually going to leave at 6:30.
Oh.
That was the plan, show up and leave.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed
Thank
myself.
God. Thank God.
She obviously did. She was everywhere, up and down,
and
everything. Enjoying myself, but I couldn't dance, and I have someone to dance to live band.
Yeah, I danced, and the band called my name.
Yeah,
of course, and
they called all our names. It's okay. It's okay. I had lunch yesterday with Bisola.
Bisola Liga.
This is the second lunch with her, crazy girl. And, and we ended up fighting. I said, I wanted to trend. It's on my life now. That, you know, Bisola is a bully naturally. Eh? Yes, she bullied me. So
between you and Bisola?
Okay. Somebody is
Who is the bigger bully?
One person is senior bully.
Okay.
So someone has to senior one. So the video is trending. Bisola asked me to kneel the hands off my hands.
And you did?
And I did. And somebody helped me to, but we were not able to edit it. It was supposed to make her
look bad.
She released the video before me. She knew that I was going to do that. So it was fun. I just kept thinking to my childhood, those kind of friends I grew up with.
Yes.
Really
How are you doing, Sokwe?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Grateful to God for every opportunity. You know, we take little things, small things. And I'm just very grateful because we had like one small accident in our house, and it could have been worse. There was a major injury, stitches, but it's like just one inch to the left could have made a major, you know. So, you know, sometimes you'll be like, something bad happened. But when you think about what could have, you'll be like, Father, thank you for this small and many others that have been prevented. There are many times we fall and we don't understand it could be worse. You know, so I'm very grateful to God.
My what do you call it? The Instagram account, or someone got hacked and it's been down, and nobody can reach me for the past 2 days. And everybody around was like, William Mariah, and I'm thinking, I've just been through 10 weeks with my mom, sick.
So you're saying Instagram is not
This is just like, what's like, okay, it's gone ahead. So if it comes back, fine. If it doesn't come back, hey, life goes on, man. I mean, I really hope he comes back, but listen, sometimes you just move on. How you doing, Mariah?
I'm doing great and amazing. I just would like to acknowledge YK's. This is one of my birthday gifts.
Oh, this is
my
really
time to work
pretty.
on a special
I think
day.
it's quality gifts.
Oh, yes.
And why is it special?
Gifts.
It's a special day because Nima would not let me rest. So that's why it's a special day. Meanwhile, Mariah, it's good to have you back.
It's really good to have you back.
And also, well done and congratulations on your mother's funeral, the burial. You did a good job. You buried her with dignity. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I got that feedback a lot. A lot of people said so. I mean, I'm really grateful. And
your brothers and your wife.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but the support we got was enormous. Like when I say enormous, not from government or especially, I mean, government did a fantastic job. So Governor Sonu, I have to say thank you for your support. Many people came forward, but family and friends,
I saw mommy's section of
family and friends. Oh, they stood. No. I mean, you see, now I even appreciate burials more because when someone's going to my mom, people show up. People showed up, and I'm so grateful. And I can use the opportunity to thank everybody. I mean, it was an amazing event, and I thank everybody for their support, their love, their messages. Instagram, I'll do Instagram when I come back. If I don't, fine. But our family and friends, thank you so much. I'll do Facebook. Thank you very much. Love you, and I really appreciate all the support we got. It was amazing. It was amazing. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, we're going to start with the nation. PDP governors, elders head for showdown over. You know, I'm laughing because nobody took this story. And it's everywhere. Okay, police query Kyari on panel's findings. ICPC recovers 301 houses from 2 civil servants. Government's winning war against Boko Haram and bandits. Showing to government travel forms cumbersome. Deduction from states allocation on hold for now. And FBN holders appoint Okonkwo as GMD. Okay, which story take it? Let's start with Abakari.
So, yes, the police, Abakari's story has been unfolding since it was discovered that, according to this, there's allegation that he took gratification from and fraternized with the Instagram influencer Abbas Ramon, popularly called Hush Puppy.
Why are you calling him Instagram influencer?
That's what the paper reported, though. That's how they...
Is the fraudster scammer?
Who he has pled guilty to money laundering. Yes, he has pled guilty to money laundering and is being prosecuted in the United States. Well, the Attorney General and the Minister for Justice, Abubakar Malami, have said that they are investigating. Right now he's a former commander. He was in charge before, but he's being investigated. They've advised the police to confront him with the findings of the investigation based on what the FBI, they got from the FBI and what they got from the Qatari businessman. They have enough to confront him on those things, and that the police should confront him and prosecute here as well. Right. So I'm waiting to see how that plays out, so that it's not just the newspaper, but actually we're seeing a proper investigation paid out here.
ICPC?
Okay. So the head of the ICPC, Bolaji Sonoye, was talking about how just two civil servants laundered public funds through real estate. And according to him, only one person had about 241 houses in Abuja. And the other person had 60 houses in Abuja from this ill-gotten wealth. He refused to mention the name, but he said that these two houses have been recovered by the ICPC. And I would just like that, put names. We know this is how some people do business.
I saw that online, and they said they found the houses because they were empty. Yes. They were massive houses that were empty.
And he said this because the speaker, of course, was talking about the housing deficit that we have, saying that, they're empty houses, but these are not.
Okay, let's take one more story. Boko Haram, you have that story? Or which one did you have? The bandits?
We have them somewhere
Let's move on now to The Punch. Secondus suits ruling uncertainty reigns as 3,600 delegates arrive in Abuja for the PDP convention. Facebook changes name to Meta, promotes apps technologies under the new firm. Suspected cultist caught with pistol in Ogun school during exam. Lai Mohammed lied he funded 2019 Kwara APC's secretary. NIMC suffers network delay amid race to meet the SIM NIN deadline. 21 billion naira 14-bed Aso Rock clinic construction begins November. Government workers' future shaky as 20 states shun contributory pension scheme. And Tambua, others visit Mimiko, ex-governor, said to rejoin PDP. Okay,
yes,
Mariam.
So I've got this, the permanent secretary to the State House, Umar Tijani, on Thursday said that the president has approved the construction and equipping of a 14-bed presidential clinic, which will cost us 21 billion naira. He says that it's a underground and first floor sort of building. The contractor for the building will be Julius Berger, and they will build it that because they had built the State House and have maintained it since 1990, so for security reasons, it's good to keep using the same contractor. Some people in the Senate were displeased at the time of this conversation because they said we did not even see the pictorial view, the model, what it would look like, but some others have commended it. I guess this particular thing brings a lot of a conversation for or against, good time or bad time, the cost of the contract vis-a-vis what exactly we put in place and the impact. Who will have access to the
So based
clinic?
on precedent, since the president's
always
travels out, his medical history is somewhere abroad, he should not bother building a hospital. Let's see if the person who's coming after him in 2023 will be using
for him
it.
alone now.
No. That's what who are those that have
the state? I don't think he has moral right to do anything about it. You are not using it anyway. Don't spend the monies for something that you don't think worthy of using.
Especially since the reports carried that it's something that was not new.
Because that person might now come and say, it's not of my standard, let me model it up. Don't bother. Leave it for the next person.
Okay, let's take another story. Who has the government workers' future shaky?
Yes. So, according to the Punch, they were able to access a document, the National Pension Commission's report titled Level of Implementation of the Contributory Pension Scheme. And according to this report, only 25 states enacted laws to join the contributory pension scheme that was launched in 2004. And this, out of these 25 states that had the laws, only 5, Lagos, Osun, Kaduna, Delta, and the FCT, are paying pensions of retirees into this contributory pension scheme and funding the accrued rights as the benefits of pensioners under the old scheme, under this present arrangement. Despite other states that have passed these laws, they're not doing anything about it. And workers are still working and retiring under this state. I don't want to bother mentioning the other 20. But there's, of course, you know, this reluctance to follow through the contributory pension scheme. People are now afraid that because of their willingness to contribute, it will lose its reason for enacting. Right. It will defeat the purpose, because workers will then end up just as, you know, the old pensioners used to be eventually, because they are working now and
especially since it's deducted. That's the bad part.
Yes.
I missed the story of taking the government winning the war. Minister Lai Mohammed mentioned at a press briefing in Abuja that he faults the press release that the Economists made concerning terrorism in Nigeria, and that the truth is that the government is winning the war against terrorism, and that it is falsely reported that the 12 Super Tucano jets have been received and are being deployed, and they've been using it to blast the terrorists, and that there's even internal crisis between a mutually destructive lockstep between ISWAP and Boko Haram, and that they are hurting themselves as well, and that droves of insurgents, former Boko Haram people, are now surrendering to the government because they have nowhere else to go, and that there's no territory in the northeast belonging to Boko Haram, no caliphate in. So why is the Economist reporting it as if we're still in the midst of the crisis and there's no improvement, that there has been improvement in the crisis?
So it's been criticized by Afenifere, ACF, and PANDEF. All of them are criticizing this comment, saying you're taking this as something that is nationally accepted. So at the time in 2015, prior to 2015, when those communities were under and their flags were being, you know, hoisted in those communities, it was nationally accepted as a problem. But right now, those communities are still under ISWAP or Boko Haram in wherever area in the northeast that is being reported, but they are not nationally accepted as such. I took a report just yesterday in one of the papers about how community members are now made to pay. An adult male is 1,000, a married one is 2,000 in some community in Niger State, that they pay, you know, to be able to...
All right, so while we are still dealing with insecurity issues within our country, Mark Zuckerberg is taking the world, he's bringing Meta Universe to life, and what he's saying is that they're changing the name from Facebook to Meta, and they're trying to help people connect even when you're not there with them. So it's a new immersive experience where you can actually be with family when they're not there. Yeah. So, well, I'm a bit scared.
I'm excited.
I don't know what it's going to mean. Or maybe until I see it, I know what... The movies have shown us a glimpse of it in different ways, but the fact that how real could it be? So, while we are discussing in Google matters in this world, all the other parts of the world are moving far, and we need to really, really know where exactly we are.
I'm excited. You know, we used to have audience, and because of what has happened, we've not been able to have them. It will be good for, like, your view will be actually sitting down. The audience will feel like they're sitting down right beside us when, you know, this happens. So they're exciting times. I'm so excited.
There's good things and there are bad things. You know, if you enter somebody's bedroom when you're not invited.
They will have to give you the password, I'm sure.
All right. Someone now mistakenly can give me a password.
Oh, go and hack it.
You know, I don't even know what the word means, but we'll see what happens. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So moving on to Vanguard. Anger as federal government says security better now than in 2015. Nigeria is still battling insecurity because we haven't reformed the military, says SGF. Mimiko rejoins PDP after meeting 4 governors in Ondo. Jailbreak foiled in Benin prisons. Cabal behind influx of fake drugs and other products, says NAFDAC boss. PDP convention, tension as court defers ruling to today. 2022 budget, Buhari to build the 14-bed presidential clinic for 21 billion naira. Anambra, heavy security can affect turnout, but necessary, says IGP. And finally, trigger-happy policeman shoots 400-level Unibent student. Can we start with that story?
Okay.
Or any story? Go ahead,
Okay, let me start with the Cabal story first, NAFDAC. So the DG NAFDAC, Professor Mojishola, at the defense of her budget at the House of Reps, was talking about how our borders are really porous. And she said something that's quite shocking. She says between 2011, from 2011 to May 16, 2018, NAFDAC was taken away from the ports. So all the exports and imports that they're supposed to control, regulate, they were not able to do for many years. And this has caused their work to be harder in the past 3.5 years. So at the time that they were not there, cabals quickly formed, and that means they were able to import and export, without NAFDAC there to safeguard our health. She says also that they give NAFDAC numbers, we know that, but that some companies found a way to clone it and then put the numbers on other products that were not vetted by them. So she gave a particular example. So this pharmaceutical company had 3 products. They gave them a NAFDAC number, and then during production, realized that they had also changed the mixture of what they had given them the NAFDAC number for, and then cloned it to cover for, they had given them for 3 products, cloned it to cover for 7 products. She said they have many products that are out there, yes, have NAFDAC numbers, but about, but it's between 80 to 90% that is real NAFDAC numbers. The others are cloned. And then she says that they definitely need more hands, that right now they have over 2,000 staff alone, and that's not enough to safeguard our borders from all these people with fake drugs. So something we need to
Those guys are really organized.
And scary. So it means for us, apart from just getting the drugs, we need to know the pharmacies we can go to that we trust and the hospitals that we trust that are using the proper NAFDAC-approved drugs.
I just remember the late Dora Akunyili, because there was a whole lot that she did to ensure that we evolved into the next level. And I think this current DG has opportunity to move us to another level. This is a challenge that I'm sure that she can also surmount to help us get access better.
Okay, let me take the Benin girl, the trigger-happy cop. So this police officer shot into a crowd of students who were protesting at the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC. So we know recently there's a Petroleum Industrial Act had asked these students to come. It's like a form of training. They're supposed to give them bags with laptops and other incentives, monetary incentives. But the students say that when they started, they only gave them empty bags. All the other things that they had agreed upon, to be involved in this project was not given to them. So they had come and they were protesting peacefully at the gates. And then this police officer came and then sort of shot in the air, and he caught this young girl in her leg, and she was taken to the hospital. Thankfully, I don't think she lost her life. I think it's just her leg, and she's in the hospital. Okay. But it just shows how, we need to be careful. Security operatives, you cannot just be shooting. I don't understand this shooting in the air that we do, and we think that it will just disappear. Obviously, it lands somewhere.
Exactly. So I want to take the story of tax reform. So the the FIRS is currently investigating, doing audits for the maritime and the aviation industry. Their statement is that these 2 industries are not bringing in the revenue that it's projected to bring in, and that everybody in that industry that has been maybe lifting things out of the country or bringing things into this country and has not paid their taxes should quickly come and voluntarily do so. That because he said if you wait for FIRS to come and meet you before you deal with the issues, you will not like the results of your activities. And so the expectation is inviting all foreign companies that have lifted cargo, including crude oil, out of Nigeria without paying taxes in line with the extant law to voluntarily come forward and regularize their tax positions.
So the SGF was meeting a committee yesterday. These are the committee, they're an 24-member advisory committee on the reforms of the armed forces. So he's saying that one of the reasons why we're still having issues with insecurity is because we have not properly reformed the armed forces. And he was just admonishing the committee, hoping that they do a great job and do proper recommendations of what needs to be done. Because obviously we cannot keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. So we need a reform so that the armed forces are well equipped and the welfare are well taken care of so that they can do better at their jobs. Okay, let's move on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Anxiety in PDP as appeal court decides secondary suit today. Southwest government's investment in agri will bolster region's food sufficiency. While Benue keyed into federal government's National Livestock Transformation Fund, says Autumn. Ban on sale of forex, how saboteurs launder DTA sold to foreign students, says CBN. 8 members remove Plateau House of Assembly Speaker. I used dry human skull as ritual for Yahoo Boy before killing my female friend to make more money, says murder suspect. Which story are you taking first?
Obviously, we want to find
the murder suspect arrested in, his name is Smiler, but his surname was kept. He was arrested in Oyo State, said that, you know, he was caught with the body of a young lady that he had lured from Lagos. Her name is Mujudat. He lured her to Shaki. His objective, of course, was to use her for money ritual. He said he started by using dry human skull and that he did it for a Yahoo boy and got paid well. So he moved on to fresh skull and that he thought, you know, fresh skull would get him good money. But thankfully, the state police command, DCP Adewale Officer, disclosed all of his activities after his arrest and interrogation. It's just sad that, you know, this is an this is a new method by our youth to make money. I hope that they make an example of him, and then parents should do more than they're doing now. Those days you have parents, you know, counseling their children from home on illegal means to making wealth and questioning source for children.
All right, so the DG of Dawn, that's the development agenda for the Western Nigeria, Mr. Sheye Uyile had said that the coalition of the southwestern states towards agriculture would help bolster the economy. According to him, there was an organization, Southwest Agriculture Company, that's SWAGO, and they are now going to be the zones, they're going to beat the zones agricultural challenges, and according to them, each of the states will play according to their own strengths, and they'll be able to provide, for example, Lagos State will be helping with there's a rice mill that is being produced in Lagos State in Imota. Ikiti also will be
bringing the rice from.
And so there's a coalition, obviously, from the southwestern states, and he's saying that if this is sustained, it will definitely help the southwestern region be self-sufficient in food. Okay,
in Plateau State, politics and politicians. So the Speaker of the House, Plateau State House of Assembly, Nuhu Abok Ayuba, was impeached by 8 of the 24 members of the House. And then a new speaker was, you know, appointed by this 8 of them. And the new speaker was then introduced to the secretary to the governor of Plateau State, you know, accepting him and commending him and congratulating him as being the new speaker. Now this impeached speaker, now meeting with 14 members, suspended new speaker and all those who, the 8 of them, all those who impeached him.
How were you not confused reading the story?
I'm so confused. See, it was our producer said we should take this story, so I'm taking the story. So now we have a speaker that has been removed, but government has accepted his removal and has accepted the new speaker, who was put in by a group of 8 people. Anyway, there's another group of youth who have, on social media, who are signing a petition against the old or the impeached speaker for a lot of misconduct, misappropriation, while this new speaker has been suspended for what they are calling trying to bring disunity in the house, you know, just politics and politics.
We have to run, unfortunately. But let me just take our final paper, which is Daily Sun. 2023, CAN rejects Christian, Muslim ticket. Anambra, we've not called for boycott of elections, says IPOB. PNID scam, court issues arrest warrant. against Irishman, and attack on Abuja Kaduna train, act of terrorism, says railway workers.
Please, let me take a story, yes, the Forex story. So there's ban on Forex sales that the CBN implemented to sort of like curtail the abuse. But there are two scenarios playing out now. Bureau de Change, we would look for students who have their documents to travel. They would use the documents to file for DTA, the dollars they should get, and then only give them $100 and collect the money. So in the airports, students traveling will now they would verify that they've gotten money, but they don't have the money on them. So obviously, he said the people of Nigeria, we are the ones now sabotage on the system. It's costing us a lot of money. That the students that really need the money don't get it. Those that are getting the money are actually being sold back into Nigeria. And it's just all shades of bad. So now it is a case of how do we appeal to the sensitivity of people, because they can't cut this system of it. Because of it, to me that they are denying students opportunity that want to travel to get access to foreign exchange.
We the people.
Yeah.
We the people.
Kansas, they don't want...
Scandal is still in court, and they've been able to issue a warrant of arrest for one of the parties, one Irishman, Neil Murray. He's absconded since, but they're prosecuting him, and they've issued the warrant for his arrest. Anyway, he's found.
And Khan is saying they don't want Christian, Muslim ticket, that it may incite the polity.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we have a special guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So join us on the show is the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier General Retired Mohammed Buba Marwa. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
He will be discussing with us how his agency is combating illicit drugs in Nigeria. You can join the conversation on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also send us messages on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be happy to read your messages. So before we go...
Go ahead. If it's a lie, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
If it's like, give me a paper and a pen.
All right.
Okay, so before we go into the interview, the ladies and I talk about NDLEA often. I mean, especially Mariam, she likes taking your story.
Yes.
And we're just really amazed at how you stay out of the focus. We don't see you a lot on paper, but we see your work. I mean, wonder, who is this person? We know you, but we don't see him out there enough. So we kind of admire the fact that you do more work than publicity. But is that intentional? Is that your strategy? Or exactly what's the plan to do more publicity? Or do you think it was better just to be doing the work behind and not seeing your face as often as we would like to?
Thank you for the invitation. I would like to begin by appreciating TVC and your programs for our advocacy. It's very important. The media has a very, very important role to play in advocacy as far as drug abuse in Nigeria is concerned. Now, to your question, I think we like to see the work rather than the person behind it more. The effect is what we all are interested in more than my own publicity. That's the long and short of it. It's my style, and we have our strategies in place for getting the job done. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, sir, like you've heard, and many times you make fun of me here, that I'd like to take the NDLEA story, and it's for two reasons. Growing up, I've seen people who had so much potential, but drug use just, ended their life, sort of their life, but they couldn't achieve much. And then I'd watched a documentary one time where it showed a community, a huge community in America, where almost every household had either a drug user or a drug abuser or people, cooking meth. And that affected the whole community. So that sort of thing scares me. And when we hear you say things like there's a rise in substance use and abuse in Nigeria, we hear numbers like 15 million. We're hearing 1 in every 4 drug user is a woman. Those sort of things scare me. 15 years to 65-year-olds are users or abusers of substance, you know. So why do we have these large numbers? And what is the plan towards helping eradicate it or reduce it?
The statistics are very worrisome, as you have said. You may recall that the president set up a presidential advisory committee for the elimination of drug abuse a few years back to bring out solutions to this problem. Why did he do this? Because he recognized that we have serious issues in this country. Our kids, youths, families, communities, indeed the whole society. There is no community in Nigeria today that there's no drug abuse problem. It's everywhere. In addition to that, it propels criminal activities. The Boko Haram insurgents, the bandits, terrorists, all of them use drugs. We have empirical evidence of this. Our troops that are fighting in the front against these criminals report that once they seize a camp, drugs, remnants, packets, it's everywhere. For this reason, we have to deal with it. Now, from the UN survey of 2018, the figure of 15 million is conservative. It's actually slightly more, because when you say 14.3 million Nigerians between the ages of 15 and 64 are using drugs, what about those before? Because now kids use drugs from primary school, kids, primary school, secondary school. These are the ages, and 65 and above. What about them also? If you factor them in, you'll be approaching something higher than even the 15 million. But when you say 15 million are using drugs in Nigeria, it means 185 million are not. So prevention is really the key. That's the first focus, prevention. Through advocacy, prevention. Family, community, our clergy, traditional institutions, the media, the NGOs. These are very important legs.
All right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dig further, because we want us to take a deep dive into how parents understand what is really at stake. Because some people just hear drugs, illicit drugs, but we don't understand what exactly it means. When we come back, we'll go further. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. So we're moving quickly to Talk Right Now.
Yes, so one of the things that has seemingly promoted drugs everywhere is the use by our celebrities. We see a lot of people within the entertainment industry. Because the highest drug intake in Nigeria, according to what research is showing, cannabis. And it is obvious that many of our celebrities use it openly. What is the NDLEA doing to partner with these celebrities, these people in the entertainment industry, to help them understand the impact of their abuse and their use in such open way, so that maybe we can change the narrative on how it is perceived? Because there was a story that came on Instagram, and I'll keep it short, where a celebrity, very notable, popular celebrity, said, everybody in Nigeria smokes, so why are we banning it? We are being hypocritical. And that statement was not addressed in the way it should be. How is the NDLEA trying to deal with these people who have capacity to influence millions at the same time?
They are role models, is it not? Yes. And our youth learn from these people. And when they do things, the youth copy. They feel that's the right thing to do. We're engaging them. Some of them actually need counseling themselves and treatment. Maybe because of stigma, a few are shy. But I take this opportunity to say that, you know, the drug use is bad. We've always said that. Ultimately, it kills. It's against the individual health, especially these role models that our youths learn and copy what they are doing. They keep away from drugs. That said, whoever is trafficking in it, not using now, but trafficking, whoever he is, will get him in Nigeria. We don't agree to that, we don't support that, and we will arrest, seize, and prosecute. That's as far as that's concerned. But use, we will help them. It's a health issue, we will help them, especially the role models. We are already having meetings with some of the celebrities, both in the south and in the north.
Right. Okay.
So I see a lot of work on, you know, stopping traffickers from bringing in this, you know, and intercepting it at the point of source. But there's still this popular use. In fact, a report said more use of cannabis in the Southwest. I was standing at a public place, and I turned, and 6 boys were openly in the afternoon, just by the court at TBS, obviously smoking. So this is almost like an accepted thing. But it wasn't the norm. So I believe that educating people about the dangers to health and, you know, the entire body, mentally, of a person that's doing advocacy on how the use destroys a person's entire system is the way to go. I've always said it here that NDLEA is doing so much work intercepting, but let us start to see clips that we used, the sort of clips we used to see as children, where something will scare you completely, that I never want to end up like this person, so I would never touch it. What kind of, do you agree? What's your, yes, what effort are you making?
Absolutely. In the past, the seizures, arrests, law enforcement has personified the work of the NDLEA, but not anymore. We have revitalized the Drug Demand Rehabilitation Directorate, and now prevention, as I said, is better than cure. So we are facing prevention through advocacy. First, from the family. Very important. This year, the President launched the war against drug abuse in June, on June 26th. And the focus is advocacy, preventive. Families have to be very clear about their responsibilities. Parenting. Parents must set the tone and example. When you send your kids to buy cannabis across the street, what lesson are you teaching him? One day he's going to say, let me just try this thing small, that my mom is always to see what it is. And from there, he could get hooked. So parenting. And children, parents should take very good care to the best of their ability, show love to the children, commitment, feed them well, look after the children, and keep an eye on the behavior of your kids to see, is there any change in the eye color, and so on and so forth. Now, that's as far as that's concerned. The clergy have a very important role to play. In Nigeria, we respect our clergy. This advocacy is critical. The traditional institution, community leaders, and educational institutions.
Okay, I need to ask you, because, I mean, there are like so many questions I want to ask you.
So many.
I'll probably ask 2 in one. Number 1, the cabal. How do you find these guys? I mean, these are the big guys. It's easy to find the guys, the young guys on the street. But the real traffickers, those who are the cabal, what are we doing? Do we know where they are? I mean, what is NDLEA doing for us to find those, number 1? Number 2, can you help us understand, or parents who are watching you today, I want them to hear from you exactly what you have seen. I mean, I'm seeing Dudu also, somebody unwrapping it. I mean, it's so, but what are the techniques or the, how does a parent know or suspect that these cookies my son is eating or this drink, you know, what do they look at? What have you seen to help a parent understand that? How do you begin to suspect that your child may be using these illicit drugs?
Thank you. First, about the cabals. Now, The cabals, these are cartels, basically, organizations that are layered. The head of a narcotic organization insulates himself through several layers. So it calls for intelligence work, which we are doing. Our men are professional. We've been working. This year, we've got 6 barons so far, which by any standard is reasonable, from 9,000 arrests. We have to arrest the small guys first. That's right, and clear the streets of drugs. So it's ongoing, it's intelligence-based, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, but we're at it, and we're getting there. Now, the issue of parents. As I said, parents have to take great care to determine this is your child, right from childhood, he grows up. How many parents watch out for any signs and symbols from the kids? How many parents watch out for the friends? What are the friends? What are the hours that the children keep? Are there any changes now? The color of the eyes? Are there some strong perfumes that the child uses now? Maybe he's trying to hide something. Do you go into the room of the kids after he's out to check if there's any paraphernalia? We've had interaction with parents who say that they don't go to bed until the child comes back. And every night they are waiting to hear bad news. Did the child have an accident? Or was he killed somewhere because of drug use? But in conclusion, I would like to say that the NDLEA is ferociously moving in the direction of supporting parents and society in Nigeria, as far as this is concerned.
All right, sir. There are some things recently in the papers concerning how you're proposing to fight this. You have mentioned drug testing for intending couples. You've mentioned compulsory drug tests for government appointees, security agents, students of tertiary institutions. And of course, you know now, Nigerians like, my human rights. How would you, first of all, how would testing intending couples prevent this or stop this? And who is going to give, which government appointee is going to allow himself to be drug tested? Who will give you the mandate or the authority to test, you know, a government appointee? What is really, how would this work out? How will this work out?
It's really not complicated. It's not mandatory at this point, but I know there's a bill for drug tests that already is in process by the House Committee on Narcotics. That's already in the pipeline. It's really, as I said, not complicated. Already there's a state government, Kano State. You can't get appointed into public office without first being negative. You won't run for office until you are negative. Because public service, this is the largest, this is where you have the largest impact on society.
So let me interrupt you a bit. How it will work out is, I'm saying, I know you're going to test me. We hear people who drink water or whatever, flush it out, do the testing, get into government office, intending couples understand that, okay, there's a day for testing. So how would it work?
Let me tell you, I've had this conversation myself with some consultant psychiatrists, and they've said all this is theory. When they say you drink water or do something and so on, no. Recently, we admitted into our academy for training.
Yes.
And we know that some of the candidates, they will buy somebody else's urine and tie it in a small leather pouch, you know. As soon as we discover that, we have to escort to make sure that it is genuine. Short of that, there's no way you can flush this thing. It stays for a certain determinate period. Now, the issue of marriage. HIV, do we test it or not?
Yes, we do.
But there's no law. There's really no law to it. Genotype, we test, isn't it? In good faith, because we believe it is best for us. And if you ask you ladies here, which of you would love their daughters to marry a drug addict I'll be surprised if anybody accepts. So why do you take that chance when you can actually test beforehand? So we're trying to reduce the use of it. And so when you as a young man knows that they're going to test, you cut down, and gradually maybe your spouse will assist over the years. Right. So it is very, very important. So that's the purpose of it. Yeah.
I want to quickly throw in two questions. One, I know for a long time Nigeria was seen as a transit country, and now we have moved from a country where drugs pass through to a country that consumes hard drugs. Very worrisome. And we've seen a rising number of the second. What can we do? What's the NDLEA doing to one, prevent the inflow of drugs, and how can we stem the rate of increase in the consumption level of hard drugs, as not just the cannabis, but the heroin, the cocaine, and all the other synthesized drugs? The second question is, there are young people concocting different things that don't look like drugs, but they are being used as drugs. They are medically prescribed drugs that young people are consuming at a very rapid rate. Their eyes turn blue, they faint. There are a lot of things that... What is the NDLEA doing to pinpoint these non-drug drugs that are being used?
First, about the transit before, isn't it? But from 2013 onwards, we also use heavily. Two things. Why do we have this situation? It's money. It's a business. There's no business where there's no productivity from the people, and they earn huge sums. So that's one propelling factor. The other propelling factor is poverty. In addition to family issues, frustration, lack of education, peer pressure, let me try this thing today and see what it's like. All those ones are there, but the main thing is poverty, which the president is fully aware of. That's why he launched the 100 million Nigerians over 10 years to be lifted from poverty. So this is a very key element, preventive. And always we continue to say, as I've said earlier, the preventive aspect is the area that we have to face. Now, if you have 50 million Nigerians here that use drugs and you are trying to support them, but you leave the 185 here, more will be coming. So you have to face this seriously. That is, those who are not yet using through advocacy and so on and so forth. The category of drugs that you mentioned are called the new psychoactive substances, which are not in the Act. They are not in the NDLEA Act. Happily, the Act is being reviewed in the National Assembly now, and this has been taken care of. It's part of it, and will have to be part of our advocacy. That said, you would recall recently we had seizures of cookies, cakes, you know, with drugs embedded in it. And what is more, they are even supplied through the internet. So you stay in your homes, and this thing, you order and it comes. And we are going after these cartels, and we are breaking them, as you have seen. Surprisingly, even a doctor, medical doctor, was arrested in Benin the other day, selling this type of thing, a doctor with all the hypocritical...
But linking that to the fact that there's an international campaign for cannabis, saying that some of, at a certain degree, it's good, it can help with health, especially to relieve pain. So that argument also is thrown out there that, listen, why are we making cannabis illegal? Why can't we legalize it within our shores and then regulate its use? I mean, do you buy that argument, or do you think it still doesn't have enough?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. First of all, when 10.6 million Nigerians, 10.6 million, that's more than the populations of Lesotho, Swaziland, Mozambique, Gambia, several countries, all just taking cannabis in Nigeria. Anything that will suggest that we should legitimize such a harmful drug, we don't support in NDLEA. The Commission on Narcotic Drugs did vote in December 2020, 27 to 25 with one abstention, to remove it from Schedule 4. But it's still under Schedule 1 of the 1961 Convention. And the WHO representative at that meeting confirmed that cannabis is still a drug that causes brain disorder. It causes psychosis. This is somebody smoking, he's hearing things, voices, his head is not straight. How would you make it legitimate? We don't support it. We will never support it.
Okay.
And there is no scientific study that proves those healing qualities that are claimed. Very important.
Okay. Nima, let me hold you for a second. I'm sorry. Let me take Prophet Kennedy to hold you for a while. Prophet Kennedy, are you there? And I'll come to Nima. Hello, sir.
Listening
Hello?
to the TV.
Go ahead, Nima.
Murayo.
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead. You're live.
Murayo.
Yes, sir. You're live.
My name is Prophet Kennedy.
Yes, sir.
Rosimi JP.
Yes.
I'm calling from Ajegule. I'm a fan of your program.
Thank you, sir.
I really recommend my general. It's my brother. When he was the head of state in Lagos State as a governor of Lagos State, he's very close to us in Ajegule for his good work he has done during the Operation Sweep. I hope you can remember me. I'm the junior brother of Vale Ayetoru in Ajegule.
I do remember.
My brother, General.
Go ahead.
Can you remember General
I can.
Buba?
Oh, my God.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh.
Oh, we lost that call. Well, obviously,
Okay.
you are still loved in the neighborhoods you touch in Lagos. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so 10.6 for me is still huge. And I think that a radical campaign against the dangers of the youth should be out there in skits, on billboards, everywhere. Well, you recently also talked about 6 rehabilitation centers in 6 geopolitical zones within the country, which is a good one because we can get some of the 10.6 to the other side. So how exactly is this going to work? What's the plan of the launch, and how effective do you think it will be eventually?
Thank you. First of all, on the youth, just to drive home this point, we want to encourage the creation of war against drug abuse, drug-free clubs, secondary schools and tertiary institutions. And very soon, we are arranging a meeting with the Committee of Vice Chancellors so that we can put together some arrangement. This thing is getting completely out of hand with the youths, and we have to deal with it. There are so far 31 in the whole country, 31 rehabilitation centers, which is still very, very few. So even the 6 is small, but it is something, one step at a time. And eventually, how it works is the NDLEA were always the first point of contact. When we make arrests and seizures, we don't throw everybody to jail. We determine, based on certain parameters, first offenders, the quantity of what was seized. Are you just starting? Maybe you need counseling. We don't want to send you to jail yet, unless if you are repeating and you are selling. That's where we put more attention. So we have 25 such counseling centers in the country. The 6 will be actual rehab centers, which will be run between us and the Federal Ministry of Health. They are also doing their best.
Yeah.
They intend to put 1 more rehab center per state. We hope that this comes soon.
We have to wrap up, obviously. You have to go. But we just look at you in admiration because a lot of us criticize the government for many things. And arguably so, we understand that there are things the government doesn't do. But when we see NDLEA, we're like, is this a Nigerian institution? Do they work for the same? Do they report to the same leadership? Do they work with the same boss? Do they report to the same president? And do they, so could you just give us in 10 seconds how yours is different? Why we see so many results? What is it that you're doing differently from others?
Thank you very much. All praises go to the Almighty God. I must first recognize the passion of the president. That has to be the beginning, because our leaders don't often look in the direction of such things like drug abuse, drug abusers, addicts, they consider them dregs of the society. This is all their fault, just throw them away, and so on and so forth. But not the president, because, he said the committee, isn't it, the PASIDA, Presidential Advisory Committee, that shows the passion, and he has been very encouraging and supportive. Now, let me tell you, when I took over, I found 188 widows and widowers within the last 15 years, killed in line of duty, and when they are killed in line of duty, is the men, the personnel that contribute the money for them to buy the casket, to go for the burial, and so on. How would you, alive and well, noticing this sort of thing, how will you commit yourself? No insurance, you think of your family and so on. But the president quickly approved money. So you have to look at that aspect. And then secondly, it's a matter of strategy. First, we had to motivate the workers, isn't it? Stagnation, they were there 20 years, most of them, no promotion, staying in one place, frustration. You can't give your best. We've resolved that with the Harmonization Committee and promoted 70% of the workforce.
Wow.
All right? So, and this is what they deserve. The liabilities, we are in the process of it. The training, we are now intelligence-led. We work closely with our partners, the Americans, the British, the French, the Saudi Arabia. We are doing more MOUs. So these are some of the things. We are getting tools. That's the long and short.
All right, thank you very much. So we've been speaking with the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Muhammadu Buba Marwa. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We learned quite a few things from you. We're going to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So it's Friday. Our hot topic is about celebrities versus yeye-brities. Now, we'll tell you what that is. So when we were growing up, celebrities were people that we celebrated, admired, we wanted to be like, people that were out there. But today, according to Nima coined this word yeye-brities, saying that these are people that seem to be working against what the social norm expects, So yeye-brities, according to us, they are people who are going on the way against moral standards. So they're actually good. Maybe there's more of nudity, there's more of brazen behavior. So on social media, their outlook to life is totally different. So there's really nothing to celebrate about these individuals anymore. So we're discussing is yeye-brity lifestyle the new way of life, or do we still believe that celebrities? Do we still have celebrities? That's really the question. Do we still have celebrities, or do we now have more yeye-brities, where their own is just to be popular sake, either going through being nude to get more followers, starting they start this scandalous controversy amongst themselves, so that people can talk about them and trend. Is that the new? Is that the new normal? That's the real question. That's the real question.
This trend or this style of getting popular started with any publicity is good publicity, even when it's bad. Yeah. So the things that would shame us in those days, things that without people talking about it, you would hide if you knew you did it. There are a lot of things that I would do. I would not want to make public. I dance. If I would tell you, I'll try to. No, don't take a picture of me doing that. So I would not popularize it. But now you see people popularize it, and then some people will say, I stand by. We no longer call it wrong. Some people say, I stand with. I still a queen. Those kind of things. And in the underlying danger of it is that gradually but surely, standards continue to drop because we no longer call things what they are. There's a popular musician that used to say, "Unti oda oda," and that slogan stayed with me. So clearly, you knew this way things that would put a bad name to you, and now in the days of where social media does not forget, records are online, everything, people still just want to be on the lips of people, even if it's for the wrong reasons.
But we saw it work with Kim Kardashian, where, you know...
That is like the bad...
He was not here now. Even for her, how stable has she been with that popularity?
She's
stability. She's made millions of dollars.
Billions. That's where you're going on. So as long as you're going to make money, and you're going to be on the lips of people... Anyhow. So, but the danger is that you, because you brought Kim here, you have to now deal within your own immediate circle, your children, your own family, you know? And family is the bedrock of society, whether you like it or not. The danger you are put out there, you're managing in your home. You're working at it, you're putting the protection, you're putting security, and you're managing the information, you're doing PR about it. But down here now, in Nigeria, we're not even doing it well. I
think the danger is mistaking a celebrity for a role model. That you're famous automatically makes you a role model. A celebrity is someone that is just well known and celebrated maybe for something that they do either in sports or entertainment. A role model is a whole different cup of coffee. So a role model could be someone, you know, that has values and has achievements that affect their society and their community in a positive way, in a positive light. And a role model is not necessarily famous or popular. A role model is not also necessarily a celebrity, just someone that you can look up to and learn from, you know, positive attributes that that person has. Now a celebrity is about entertainment, about how many people know them, about how popular they are, it's about popularity. The danger now is expecting your celebrity, because of how well known they are, to be role models. And that is what the conversation, you hear them say, I just wanted to be a musician. I did not come here to be a role model. I just wanted to be a footballer. I'm not asking to be a political influencer because I'm playing good football. This is just what my talent and my skill has brought me, and it has brought me fame and money. So we need to be careful who we look up to. Then sometimes when we have this conversation, then it's on us. Are we the ones making the mistake, or is it the celebrity's mistake that we have decided to use them as the standard for the way that we should live our lives, or the way we should raise our children, or what our children should look up to? It also says a lot about us, what we consume, what we see as important. If we're consuming a lot of yeye-brity, we give more yeye-brity money, more yeye-brity likes, more a huge yeye-brity platform. If you celebrate role models, you create a platform for them. You push them by how much you like them. So what are we like? Yes, what we are accusing them for?
Brands of doing the way that they're giving more money to celebrities and not giving to maybe people who are academic.
You are giving celebrities.
Yeah. So
imagine. Let me just give one example. Imagine someone does a reality show, and the person became popular for maybe nudity and sexual activity in the open, and the person comes out, and government gives that person an ambassador to the youth position. Meanwhile, there's a young man or young woman who has put their minds and their focus in education. They are doing so much. The most we do for them is 100,000 naira. So whose fault is it?
Right. So I wanted to quickly jump on what you said earlier about we doing the mistake of, you know, then making them role models. Nobody would make them role models. They are actors that in society that have a responsibility, whether they like it or not, to either popularize or unpopularize something. So you come now and you need to trend on something, or you want to be on the lips of people, and even if it is the extreme worst case of a nude or pornographic activity, you put it out there. And you now leave the conversation in society, whether people would like you or not. But young people now think, okay, it's happened before. There's nothing new under the sun. You've created a trend.
Precedence.
A bad precedent. So there's still that responsibility on you in the society to put out only the things that you eventually, in your at a time of sober reflections, would approve of. Because now you then come out later on when people will not let it be because somebody is now suffering the bad side of that activity because it's now within their space. Talking about it and calling you out, you say your mental health is being attacked.
Okay,
so not thinking of my mental health.
I don't agree with their responsibility. I think that globalization and westernization, our desire as a nation to do everything the Western world is doing, our lack of values in our own culture, the fact that we have forgotten our ability, we've forgotten respect for our culture, and we want to be like them. So there's a lady that just finished in the Big Brother house, and what she wore, Rihanna has worn it. There's this other very big size, plus size, Lizzo wore it. So what we're seeing is westernization, globalization. Somebody in Nigeria sees someone go naked, and he also wants to go, and everybody likes that person's picture in America or somewhere else, and then they do it here. And we are leaving our impressionable young ones to follow all of this. So here is the thing. Westernization, globalization can be good and bad as long as we retain our own identity. And our problem is we don't have a clearly defined identity. Go to India, they have their crisis. Everybody, they have the same internet. They have access to see what is going on in developed countries. But they still have this culture of what is our own, how we dress, how we look. This is it. People say Japan's success is attributed to the way they build the value and culture into them from childhood. As a nation, we haven't inculcated cultures and values into our educational system in a way that every Nigerian is groomed to understand this is our goal as a country. This is our way of life. Oh, we see them, it's okay, but this is who we are. Until we are able to do that, and that's why I love what Praise Forward does, which is saying that you must create your own nation in your microcosm. Each family is a nation, and you must impute the values you want for that nation. The nation of Odiges, this is the value we have. So we will see that nude, what Liquorose was wearing, which we feel, oh, no, this is terrible. And they will know, because from their own nation, they have been brought up in that way. We cannot let celebrities be raising our children for us. It is not the responsibility of a celebrity to give my children what value is. The fact that Tiwa Savage has a nude video does not mean my children will do it. Doesn't mean I will do it, because my own parents put a value of the Odubela in me.
Great, but you see, shouldn't we start facing the reality that this is the world we live in right now? There is nudity everywhere. I mean, I think I'm done even trying to protect my children anymore, because it's everywhere. Even in their life, they try to type in a word, and those words, this pop up. So it's like, do we start facing the reality that these celebrities are in our faces? Let us just know that, okay, they are there, and know that we are raising our children to know that these people exist. And just know the difference. But because you can't really take or hide a child away from these experiences.
Right, but we must say what is wrong is wrong. So what the Minima said that I stand by, that one, we must say is wrong.
Yes, you say it's wrong. But they go into the world that says, don't judge. The world tells you don't judge.
We're not judging. Saying it is wrong is not judging.
No, this is it. I wanted to disagree with Tokwe earlier, because it's this double standards of calling it out and calling it a judgment that got us here. So you want to say that this is wrong. They'll say, no, she's judging her. She's doing her own standard to judge her. If it is wrong, why is it a judgment when I say it is wrong, but you've done it? Why is it difficult to say, oh, I did something wrong?
They say,
I've looked at it now in retrospect.
Without sin should throw the first stone.
We've used this a lot of times. We've now destroyed standards. There are no standards, so you can't hold anybody to anything. If it is to hold somebody to a standard is to judge the person. What are we now saying? That's how little by little we take away what will be the foundation and the pillars of society, and then we have a crumbled system. We have a culture. No, we do. We do, and we have an identity as Africans and as Nigerians. Nobody would wed those days boldly without. It's because standards, they started calling it fashion, judgment. The place I went, they asked me to take off, and little by little we broke every institution. It was individually broken. Homes, communities. Why will we call our neighbors out when they talk to our mothers about a thing they saw us do as gossip? We call them out when they talked about our elders to set aside and say, it's not the standard. Don't judge my child. Free the child. And eventually, we are now here and we're saying we don't have culture and standard. Which one did we lose when we did not have one? We had. We've always had one.
Let's jump in.
Yeah, so talking about this westernization, we're picking things from the West and making it. I think a lot of people also mistake Hollywood for westernization.
Exactly.
Because even for them, the people that do these things, they are being called out by the people from that country. Like, how are you dressed this way? So what we're saying is that we're picking Hollywood and making it into our own daily lives. What this particular one, since we're talking about the particular lady in question, what she wore it for Nigerian sphere, Hollywood sphere. She dressed like a Hollywood person and
at a brand launch.
At a place where people like them, people that understand them, people that celebrate things like that, people that encourage things like that, because it passes a message for what that brand stands for. It passes a message for, it pushes followership and maybe, money towards that. And there's a way that you have to look to sell something. That is what that celebrity status is telling us. There's a way you need to look. There's a way you need to speak. There's a way you need to act that is acceptable within that circle. That particular person would not go to someone's school dressed that way.
Yeah. Let me jump on that for a second, because I know that Hollywood actually set the tone, set the pace for culture and society. That's the truth, because we've seen how Hollywood projected in Philadelphia, the movie. Was introduced to us, the gay community was introduced, the challenge of the gay community. We were just talking about technology. What they're launching today, Hollywood has shown it several times in their movies. So Hollywood has always somewhat set the pace and set the tone for culture, fashion, the way of how we do things. So when we see the Hollywood, yes, you're right, the larger society may not do it, but they are setting the tone globally. In India, China, they're all watching Hollywood, and they're saying, oh, this is how Rihanna dressed, so me too, I want to dress like that. So we're saying that where do we draw the line between what Rihanna wore and what we should be wearing? Have we really imprinted our own culture enough for my child to say, there's a difference between Rihanna and myself? What we will blur the lines now, because this person, I think,
I don't think so. I think the reason why we're even having this conversation and calling out, or having a conversation about it, is because it's still not acceptable to us. It's still something.
But eventually,
no. See, if there are things that we have made part of our culture, we don't even talk about it anymore because we have accepted it. But there are some things that every time it comes up, we talk about it. And it's global. Even on the global sphere, they will put it on TV and everybody will sit down to converse about it. Because, yes, it's unacceptable, it's not normal. So to always say, what I'm trying to say is that we should not always put it on the person doing it to direct culture. I don't believe it. Nigeria is culturally, people will tell you culturally, a Christian society. They will tell you it's a religious society. That's something that we have pushed in Nigeria. Even abroad, when they talk about Nigeria, I remember when they were trying to get Trump re-elected, they were referring to Nigerians as, they were saying the angels of Nigeria were coming to save Trump. So they understand that there's a culture here. But does that mean that we do not have, apart from Christianity, we do not have other ills in our society? Does that mean that there are things that we do not do right? Because, and that's just to say that in every society there are people, there are different circles, there are different spheres, and in every community there's something that they do to push that community, to say we're a community of nude dressers, we're a community of people who, because we're celebrities, we show up, and this is how we show up. So these are different things, but does not mean that I have to copy it. It has to be a part of my life. It has to be the culture of everyone where I'm from.
Okay, so let's go back to this question of celebrities versus yeye-beauties. I mean, where do we draw the line? Yeah.
So the hunger to blow has caused a lot of things to happen in our society. People, and the truth is, we give airtime, we talk about the bad things more than the good things. So you post a very decent picture, you get average likes. You post a scantily dressed pictures, you get a lot more likes. And so the people are studying their trend and feeling like, I want more people to know me, blow. So I'm going to post more pictures that will get more attention. Everybody is talking about this former BBN star because of what she wore. So until we identify that this, what we call celebrities and what we should be calling celebrities should not get the endorsement they are currently getting, should not get the airtime they're currently getting. I see some blogs carry story and I'm wondering, why give this attention? So a guy went nude. He said he mistakenly posted his nude picture on Snapchat. And then every blog were reposting it. Even airtime here. You know, so for me, I just feel that we are giving so much attention to nobodies and making them, they are human beings, but we are giving to the non-act that should not be promoted is now getting them awareness. And so other people that want awareness will now go to do it, because if this person did it, he got awareness. Another person did it, they got awareness. Me too, I want people to see me. Why did Bobrisky pioneer a new trend of cross-dressers? Why? It became popular, it was flash. We gave him the platform. We say we don't like what is being done, but we, the people of Nigeria, gave him platform, and now there are different shades and names coming out doing the same thing.
Let me take this call from Etsu very quickly. Etsu, are you there? Hello, Etsu from Minna. Hello, Etsu, are you there?
Listen to the TV. Okay,
I think we lost him. We have to go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation and take some more messages. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So thanks for staying with us. Going back to this issue of British, and we're defining them as people who try to get popular just by doing the worst things. I mean, recently a gentleman called Cross released nude photos of himself. I mean, it was quite appalling. Okay. You know, it was it's hard for you to see those kind of things and not say something. Well, so when people think it's okay to release sexual videos of themselves or release nude videos or pictures of themselves, in the sake of, oh, somebody leaked it.
And then they'll talk about it.
And then you talk about it, and then and people don't condemn it. People celebrate it. I mean, I was told that Cross was being celebrated that, oh, yeah, you are endowed. Oh, this, you are that, fantastic. And we're thinking, where exactly do we live? Are we still in this universe?
There's something that permits the word I call end-time agents. So, end-time agents, the way I see them, are people who come to these people. Because just as you said, when we were children, Hollywood had always set the tone, but we didn't grow up accepting what Hollywood set. I don't believe in transgender or cross-gender or homosexuals. I don't believe in it, even though I know exactly what it means. I grew up knowing exactly what it meant. I don't accept it. It wasn't the culture of the family I was raised. I would never be able to process it. And we knew those things, but some people sold it. You will see children come from homes that are their culture, forget this culture thing Toko just talk about, some homes that they had it. And for some reason, they will say, first get popular. The PR will come after. They would organize reality shows, and the nude segment will be highly rated. You have to pay for it if you like to see it. The people who were acting it were so-called promoted. When it was in South Africa, this particular reality show, a Nigerian took part in it. She was abused in the house. Then myself and Prof would watch it in Ife. She was abused in the house. I remember how gross Prof felt when the winner was the abuser in one of their sessions that they had. And it became popular. This person is a Christian, deacon. That's the culture of his family. I was Muslim, and we were family friends, and we would spend holidays in both houses. So it was the same culture, and we stood against it. So we never accepted it. But the end-time agents found a way that Nigerian who went to South Africa to represent our country, who was abused, didn't become popular. Every time we have to search her name, but the person who got the money is acting, PR, agent, influencer for products and all of those things. The abuser. These end-time agents sort of make money the goal, and it excuses every other thing. So we just say, okay, but the money is in the account. Someone even said in the house that, I don't care what you say as a married woman, as long as Shebi will be alone, I will have the money.
So it's all driven by money.
I don't understand it.
Who are these agents? Are these the performers themselves?
The organizers, the performers, everybody.
Or the consumers?
Okay, so
who are the agents?
So calling a spade, I had this conversation, and I later had it with BC, with a real estate guru, and we're discussing Christian values and all of that, and we were saying that companies that fund these reality shows are owned by Christians and Muslims. Yes. And I have spoken to one who sponsored one of those reality shows, putting millions of naira into it. And he said it was for business. You have no idea how many, how the viewers that they have, how well I sold. And then when we finished the discussion, and I said, we need to, then there's a new Superman movie, and you know what happened in the Superman movie. So our conversation was, we as Christians and we that have value need to put our money into promoting content that have value. Because we have a responsibility to the next generation. I watched a movie that taught my children all, is a cartoon about the culture of, not a cartoon, animation, not animation, Hawaii. It was all about the Hawaii culture, their values, all of that. Yes. Done very well to suit children. Yeah. And I told this real estate mentor of mine, and I said, we need to sponsor movies. I spoke to BC, I said, BC, we need to do movies that promote value, that are so interesting like God's calling. We need to make celebrities make money. We are ladies on this show. We are decent, we are married, we are happy, we don't have any controversy. Where are the brands? So what are we saying?
No, it's not for
I'm just saying.
For those that have...
So when brands put their money on celebrities, then they now later, the children, the staff of the brands are now complaining that our children are following celebrities, but you are the one sponsoring them. So it is a revolving circle that does not profit us, and some people need to pull out of it. And for me, it's not to complain, it's I want to make my money so that when I produce like 10, 15 movies that are really, really grounded, I am shaping the culture. So it goes beyond just these charts.
Yeah. So, okay, a lot of us, were quick to call out everyone else except ourselves. Yeah. And I will start from myself. There's a picture, there's a video of Tiwa that's been going around. I did not watch it. I will not watch it. I would never watch it. It's not the kind of thing I will sit down and be watching or want to discuss the intricacies of it. There's another picture of the young man you called that is going out. I would not look at it. I would not consume it. Simple. If I do that in my house, then maybe I can have some moral justification and call out people. But you will not go to your house and be watching these things and be discussing it and be sharing and reposting and retweeting, and then you come to the outside and be calling people out for the very
like those pictures
for the very thing that you are enjoying. So who are you? You're a hypocrite, you're a bigger hypocrite than anyone else, than the person that is doing it. So first of all, and that's the problem, we don't understand the impact of what one person can do and how it spills over and becomes a culture. If it's your individual personal home culture that we will not look at these things, we will not be part of it, we will not engage in it, we will not give it platform. It becomes a culture for your whole society. So until we begin to do that, we do not have any right to come out and be calling anyone out. Exactly. Secondly, you will not do it too. You will do it, you are not caught doing it today. Tomorrow, 10 years down the line, then you're doing it, and then you come out and you're giving excuses for why you are doing it right now. So those are the things I feel that we should talk about. It's so easy to call people out. If you are not doing it yourself, if you are not making the example yourself, if you are not bringing up your children and giving them that values first, then madam.
All right, so we're going to be wrapping up. I mean, sometimes when we've had these kind of conversations, we think, to what end? What are we trying to achieve at the end of the day? Because these things are in our faces. We cannot but see them on TV. People will get popular. Money, brands would funnel money into these people, whether we like it. That's the reality. So you've given us one suggestion, which is let's begin to invest in the good celebrities, right? But the problem is that whether we like it or not, negative news sells. We see it all across the world. The war on terror is more publicized than the good things that are happening. It happens, so it attracts the traction because the businesses must run. At the end of the day, I'm trying to run a business, I'm getting numbers. So how do we flip it so that even though we invest in the good celebrities, they can still make money? How do we make it more attractive?
I think that's what I said.
She said a very important one. Don't
be the ones that watch it. So when you say negative news sells, who is it selling to? So it is those of us that prefer to watch everything negative.
Don't sell it with nudity. And some of us, unfortunately, these things are in our faces. You have to go and learn what they are and try to understand what you're telling your child not to believe in. Before you keep saying it's okay, someone was talking, we're talking about homosexual, and she was saying, it's they're abroad, they're doing it, it's just okay. I just can't be caught rejecting it, you know, as long as they don't bring it here. But before we knew it, it's here. So maybe denying that it's not there or stopping the conversation might not be the thing. Knowing it for what it is and calling it bad as it is the way to go.
Let me go on a quick break. Then when we come back, we're going to wrap up and just see our final thoughts on this. Hopefully get some messages on Facebook. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. So we're going to take a few comments from Facebook on this stuff before we wrap up. Yes, Nima, please.
While you are getting it together,
no, I had it together, but let me just take it. Lotu says, I see Miriam's point, but whether the celebs like it or not, they are role models because of their platform. They do have an indirect responsibility to their audience. Morenike Bilikis Mafe says, but why do people choose celebs as role model now? Why place them on a pedestal of morality when they can't live up to that expectation?
Yes, go ahead.
So what I want to say is everything derives value from what the value we put on it. Everything. This cup, I can say this cup, is that the ceramic, it's handmade, it was, all this, your view is scripted, this thing is now worth 1 billion naira. And guess what, somebody would, if I can convince someone to agree, this cup goes from a 2,000 naira cup to a 1 billion naira cup. So it is about the value we place on it. We have placed values on the wrong things as a society, and we need to start correcting it. I deliberately do not like all comments or pictures that I feel do not connect with my values. Exactly. And I think if everybody that frowns against it, don't comment on it. You see, some people will comment, they'll take the time to comment, this is terrible. That comment, you have given that thing value. So don't comment. If we all ignore what is wrong, it would die naturally. Number one. Number two, final comment is, can we encourage, because we are such a religious society that most of our entrepreneurs pray in the mosque or in the church, can they rather put their brand influencers to people they want their children to be like, and then we'll see major changes going on, and they start supporting true brands like the ladies of your view. They're decent people.
All right, so when I was growing up, two people were quite popular. They were celebrities, Mother Teresa and Oprah. And it was not for nudity or anything, it was for that. But we consumed it. That was what we watched. Mother Teresa in India, always watched it. She was on TV.
We gave it time.
We gave it time, we gave her platform. But today we decided we're not going to give them time or platform. And the reason why is because you don't watch it. The person that has the platform is saying, how do I get people to watch these people? But when they try it out, you don't watch it. So they're thinking, okay, the congregation has moved on to other things. So this war, this culture thing we're talking about, it is a choice we have to make. We have a part to play. And that's what I'm saying. Start with us first.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to echo as we wrap up, because there's something called civic responsibility, something called social responsibility. Yes, nobody's going to put a gun to your head if you don't do it, but it's the right thing to do. What is right is right. And I think, and I plan to continue to use my mom's burial as an example, because a lot of people said they had a great time at the burial. And aside from the fact that God showed up and everybody showed up, but I think one of the key things that stuck out is that the person in charge took full responsibility, did the right thing. Every resource, every penny was put into that burial. Usually when families come together and put money together, somebody removes 25% or 30%, you know, something to do after the burial. But every single thing. Why? Because that was the right thing to do. And everybody's talking about it, that, oh, you guys did a fantastic, because we did what we were supposed to do. What we don't do, we fail as civilians, as Nigerians, to take responsibility and do the right thing. We fail to do the right thing at the right time, because, oh, nobody's watching. And who would have put a gun to my head for saying, Morale did not use the whole money? Of course not. I would have, nobody could have not known. Even my brothers would not have known. Morale diverted. I didn't divert it. Every penny was taken into that project. So it's all about taking responsibility. Nobody's going to put a gun to your head, but do the right thing. At every point in time, if you are naked, you have a sexy body and want to do your thing in your own house. But take responsibility. I don't want to put this out there because a young person is watching. I don't want to share the wrong thing to a young person. Take responsibility. Period. Have a lovely weekend. See you Monday.
Yeah.